Hey, yo, what up? I'm Josh Martinez of Z100, New York's #1 hit music station, and the Superstar Crossover podcast on iHeartRadio with my guest, Orange Cassidy. What's going on, man?
I'm doing as good as I can be.
All things considered, I think that's pretty true. What are the nerves like going into headlining a show in your home state?
Yeah, I don't know if I get nervous, but I get, I guess the word people use is anxious.
Okay.
I maybe I'm impatient. I don't know. I want to get it. I want to get it. I want to let's go. I got too long to wait.
When you found out, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be main event, home state, which isn't the first time you've main evented a pay-per-view. What was your first thought in your mind when you were like, oh, okay, this is cool?
I kind of expected. I didn't know it was going to be at Full Gear, but I did. I knew what I was getting myself into, and the AEW World Championship usually does headline a pay-per-view. I didn't really think about all that stuff. I just knew what I had to do. So it was kind of all. I kind of expected it a little bit without even really realizing it. So no, yeah. It's what I have to do. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah. So you have a very unique style. I'm sure you've heard that for years. I'm sure you've had people that didn't want to work with you strictly based on your character. Who would you say has been extremely helpful over the last, let's say, 5 years of your character's development?
I don't know. Luckily, I am surrounded by people that are incredibly open and receptive to new things, new professional wrestling. There are names there are tons of people that I can say definitely helped me shape who I am. Colt Cabana is one of those guys very, very early on before, he was kind of wrestling him really helped me shaped who I am just by wrestling him. And now it's like, fast forward to now, I have Dean Malenko sitting next to me, helping me. That is what is so special about AEW is I can get a range of incredibly talented people, legendary talents like Dean Malenko, helping me be the wrestler I am.
So you have a lot of fans based on your unique style, and I have a few questions here from fans. Tyler wants to know if you have a list of your 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
So I don't have a list of my 5 favorite. I will say that I enjoy watching my friends wrestle a lot. So
Okay.
Instead of, I growing up and watching professional wrestling, I always would identify with certain professional wrestlers, but then understand that I wanted to do the opposite of that. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be unique. So I didn't really have any favorites, but if I had a list, it'd probably go in the line of Chuck Taylor, Willow Nightingale, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii. So there you go. And Rocky Romero should be in there too, I should say.
Do you have any dream opponents that you just haven't gotten in the ring with yet?
No.
Okay.
I have stopped fantasizing about everything because the real life right now to me is fantasy. So it's I'll take whoever wants to.
So now you say real life is fantasy. So it almost sounds like the wrestling thing is an escape for you. Was it like that for you when you were a kid, that you were obsessed with wrestling, or you were kind of like a fringe fan watching Superstars on a Saturday morning, if you happen to remember it's on?
I mean, I meant it in the sense that like who I am wrestling now and who I've gotten to wrestle with now is like fantasy. It's like I couldn't even imagine that. Like the idea that I wrestled with Sting is incredible. You know, it's that's what I was referring to in that. But um, I believe very strongly in the power that professional wrestling has, and what it does, and it is why I believe professional wrestling fans are so passionate. It is a year long, 365 every single day. We don't take breaks off seasons. You grow up with professional wrestling. Like it is, if you're a wrestling fan, um, it's a part of your life. And I understand the power that that has. Um, and the power that it can be to kind of help people throughout their lives.
So growing up, did you watch wrestling a lot growing up, or was it something that you got into kind of later in life?
It was always a part of my life. I watched as much as I could, and then throughout my career in my life, I was introduced to different styles of professional wrestling from around the world. And when I was starting, you couldn't just go to your phone and type in a style and be able to see all the matches. You had to know people that knew people that would give some tapes and let you watch some stuff. I remember distinctly that the Best of Super Juniors that had a really big impact when I saw that. Just watching ECW, seeing that there is all these different types of professional wrestling. That really helped me. That opened me up, and so I was always a fan in that sense.
So this weekend, you're going up against Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Newark, New Jersey, AEW Full Gear. This isn't the first time you're going to be in a ring against Moxley with a title on the line. You did it at All Out 2023, kind of the culmination of your long championship reign as international champion. Match is over, you stand up, and you get a very well-deserved standing ovation. What goes through your mind when you see that type of appreciation from a sold-out crowd?
The first thing that came to my mind was, oh, I think I lost. Chicago is very special to me. It is where I had my first singles match in AEW against Pac in 2020 at Revolution. It is the place that after I separated my shoulder and I was gone for 3 months, I wrestled. Then the very next thing I did after being hurt was, I don't know, I had this great idea of wrestling Will Ospreay, and that's where I wrestled him. And then I got to wrestle Moxley there for All Out, having the International Championship as the main event of an AEW pay-per-view. And the fans are just as much a part of me as I am of me. It's they are a part of me. They take deservingly rightful ownership over me because they helped create this monster. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in that situation. So if I could give them all a standing ovation and say thank you back, I would, because it is that. And I think that is the power of professional wrestling. I think it's like being connected with all those people, and they understood the task, they understood the story, and they understood that I want them to feel those emotions and that type of experience. So it was, it's something I'll probably never forget, because I can watch it on video, because I don't really remember much.
Well, you could stream it. You mentioned that Chicago is a special city for you for a list of reasons. Any other cities that come to mind that when you see them kind of on the map, or when you see them on the schedule, you kind of get excited because there's a personal connection to that city?
When we do Rhode Island, Boston, that the New England area, that's because when I was starting my wrestling journey career on the independents, Beyond Wrestling is a promotion out there that was very instrumental on letting me do what they let me be Orange Cassidy. They let me do it. They embraced it. They gave it the opportunity. And so whenever we go, we were actually just in Rhode Island recently, and those fans are just incredible to me. Like we were talking about that whole ownership thing. Like they were on the ground floor. And Beyond Wrestling is still doing that now. They're cultivating so many new, great, talented wrestlers. So, that's very special. I also, obviously, Philadelphia for all those great reasons. It's where it's where I developed all my best friendships, and it's also where I developed my professional wrestling. And other than that, no, there, Wolverhampton in London. Wolverhampton in England, in the UK, has a very special place for me because that's the place that Fight Club Pro was running, and they were crazy enough to fly Orange Cassidy out to have professional wrestling matches. So they really embraced it too, and they understood who I was. So that's a very special place. It's so funny. Like I could sit here and just go through every single state and tell you why something is important, special to me. But those are probably the big ones, I think.
So the final question I have, Jeremiah is a fan, and he sent this question. He wants to know basically the evolution of Orange Cassidy. How much of a collaborative effort is that, or is it just strictly you that's evolving this character over the last, at least since AEW has been around? So 5 years or so?
I think who I wrestle is throughout my career in AEW, I've gone through different opponents, different groups. You know what I mean? I think all of that shapes who I am now. I feel it's very important to show that people change, that people evolve. AEW is a place that allows that. If I were somewhere else, maybe I wouldn't be able to get to do that. Every single major, I guess you could say, milestone in AEW that I've gone through, I've changed. I've become something different. Whether it was wrestling Matt Hardy, and for 3 months, I was different after that. Going through Miro and Kip Sabian in a arcade, I changed. Jericho, punching him into a giant vat of mimosa, changed me. All of these things changed me, and Jon Moxley is no different. For every single time that I step foot in it, he does the most changing, I think, of anybody. I think that just going naturally with what happens is the best way you can evolve.
I love that. One more time, Full Gear this weekend, Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley headlining. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.